Think about this one for a second. What if the way you respond to a frightening thought is what keeps it alive? Most of us try to get rid of thought, but that may be the wrong fight. Maybe you suddenly imagined something terrible. Maybe you remembered something embarrassing. Maybe your mind said, "What if everything goes wrong?" And then you tried to push the thought away. Now, the Stoics had a different idea. Don't start by asking how to make the thought disappear. Ask what you're about to believe because of it. You told yourself, "I shouldn't be thinking this." Then you started worrying about the fact that you were thinking it. But here's the important part. A thought appearing in your mind does not mean you believe it. And it certainly does not mean you have to obey it. That is why the first question should not be, how do I get rid of this thought? A much better question is, what is this thought trying to make me believe? Now that's scary. What is my thought trying to make me believe? I caught myself doing this recently. Something happened, and almost immediately my mind supplied a story that a good friend had betrayed me. I didn't know the story was true, but I was already reacting to it. Happily, I stopped and applied the 3-step practice I will share later in this video. Now, in the last episode, we talked about resentment. We talked about swallowing feelings, the quiet yes when you really meant no. And after you finally set a boundary, your mind may begin making noise. What if they're angry? What if I was selfish? What if I made the wrong choice? This is where many people lose their peace. Not because the boundary was wrong, but because they begin fighting every thought that follows. They argue with their own mind. They try to force themselves to feel certain. They demand that every uncomfortable thought disappear. But thoughts don't become quiet because we shout at them. Sometimes they become quieter when we stop treating them like emergencies. Long before modern psychology existed, ancient philosophers were already warning people about this exact problem. The Stoics understood that the first thought may arrive without your permission. But what we do next still is what matters. By the end of this video, I'll give you a simple 3-step practice for responding to difficult thoughts without becoming trapped inside them. A thought is an event in the mind. That is all. It's not automatically a fact. It is not prophecy. It is not a command. If your mind says, "They must be disappointed in me," well, that's a thought. If your mind says, "I'm going to fail," that's a thought. If your mind says something terrible is about to happen, that's a thought. It may feel serious. It may feel convincing. But feeling real and being true are not the same thing. Think about a dream. While you are dreaming, it can feel completely real. You may feel afraid. You may run. You may cry. Then you wake up and realize it was only a dream. Thoughts can work in a similar way. They can create a strong feeling before you have checked whether they are true. That does not make you foolish. It makes you human. Your mind is always trying to protect you. Sometimes it notices a real danger. Sometimes it mistakes uncertainty for danger. And sometimes it simply repeats an old fear. This doesn't mean you should accept every thought as true. It means you can stop giving every thought a wrestling match. Fighting those thoughts, just keep them alive and give them power. You do not have to chase every thought that flies through your mind. Let it arrive, let it be noticed, and then let it move on. The Stoics had a useful way of looking at this. They understood that impressions arrive first. An impression might be, "They hate me. I'm in danger. I can't handle this." The impression quickly appears, but the impression is not the final judgment. There's a space between the thought and your response. That space may be very small, but it's there, and you can make it larger with practice. You can say, "I am noticing the thought that they hate me." That sentence changes something. Instead of saying, "They hate me," you say, "I'm noticing the thought." Now you are standing beside the thought, outside the thought. This is not pretending everything is fine. It's simply refusing to confuse a mental sentence with reality. You can feel afraid without deciding that danger is created. You can feel guilty without deciding that you are bad. You can feel uncertainty without deciding that you are helpless. and that's important. Now let's do a little experiment. After all, philosophy is just a bunch of words if you don't put it into practical use. The next time a difficult thought appears, use these 3 steps. Step 1. Notice. Say quietly, I'm having a thought. Not, this is true. Not, this will definitely happen. Simply, I'm having a thought. Step 2. Name it. Give the thought a simple name. This is fear. This is guilt. This is anger. This is my mind looking for danger. Naming the thought creates a little distance. Step 3. Choose. Ask, what is the next wise action? Not the perfect action, not the action that will make everything comfortable, just the next wise action. Maybe you just take a breath. Maybe you wait before sending a message. Maybe you apologize. Maybe you continue with your homework. Notice, name, choose. This is the practice. Getting back to the example I shared earlier about my friend. Notice, name, choose. I noticed. I am having a thought that my friend betrayed me. I named it. This is anger. I chose. I decided the next best action was to talk directly with my friend. Happily, it turned out well and probably saved our friendship from my crazy thinking. Now let's imagine you send somebody a message. They do not reply. Your mind immediately says, they're upset with me. You feel your stomach tighten. Then you begin checking your phone. You reread your message. You imagine every possible explanation. Now you're fighting the thought. Instead, try the 3 steps. Notice, I'm having a thought that they are upset with me. Name it. This is my uncertainty. Choose. What's the next wise action? Perhaps the next action is to wait. Perhaps it's to continue your day. Perhaps it is to ask them later, calmly. The important thing is that you are no longer allowing one thought to control your entire afternoon. Now let's make it personal, just inside your own head. You make a mistake. Your mind says, I always ruin everything. Notice it. Name it. Choose. I'm having a thought that I almost always ruin everything. This is shame. The wise action is to correct what I can and learn from it. That's much more honest than pretending the mistake didn't happen. But it's also kinder than turning one mistake into your identity. You made a mistake. You are not a mistake. Now, this practice does not mean ignoring serious problems. It doesn't mean pretending painful feelings are unimportant, and it doesn't mean that you should handle everything alone. If a thought keeps frightening you, interrupts your daily life, or makes you feel unsafe, speak with a trusted adult or qualified professional. Asking for help is not weakness, it's wisdom. The Stoic practice is not about becoming a machine with no feelings. The Stoics were not saying never love anyone. They were not saying never feel sadness, fear, or anger. They were saying that feelings can be present without becoming your master. You can feel anger and still choose your words. You can feel fear and still take one careful step. You can feel sadness and still treat yourself gently. The goal is not to control every thought. The goal is to stop handing every thought control of you. If you feel that you would like to speak with a qualified professional, check the description below for some links that could be helpful in finding that help. Now, philosophy thrives in conversation and argument. So if you try this practice, write one word in the comment. Notice. You don't need to share the thought itself. Just write the word as a reminder that you can observe your mind without immediately obeying it. And if you found this helpful, I would truly appreciate it if you gave a gentle tap to the like and subscribe buttons. The next time your mind gives a frightening sentence, do not panic. Do not immediately believe it. And do not waste all your energy fighting it. Try this. Notice it. Name it. Choose it. I am having a thought. This is fear, guilt, anger, uncertainty. What is the next wise action? That small pause can change the entire direction of your day. You can have a thought without becoming that thought. You can feel an emotion without becoming that emotion. You can notice the mind without surrendering your choice to it. And remember, you can remember without reliving. You can learn without remaining trapped. You can carry wisdom without carrying suffering. But there's one thought pattern that often hides behind all the others: the need to keep thinking until you find complete certainty. You research, you compare, you ask for advice. Then you ask for more advice. You wait for the perfect answer. And while you're waiting, life keeps moving right along. But what if you don't need more answers? What if what you need is to make a decision? In the next episode, we will ask those difficult questions and give you a 10-minute Stoic decision-making exercise. See you there. And in the meantime, remember, in all things and at all times, be a philosopher.